All right, fans, welcome to our interview with the extraordinary Owen. Fuck, what was your last name?
O'Gorman.
O'Gorman. I'm such a fantastic host of a show. What's kind of nice about this, we wanted to have you on the show is, of course, you've got years of experience as an actor. Mm-hmm. We've had a lot of filmmakers on the show recently, and the opportunity to talk to somebody with such a vast knowledge and experience working in the field for so many years and years and years. But what's cool, so you've actually done quite a bit.
I have. I've been lucky. I've been in theatre, film,
mm-hmm.
radio, and now writing and directing. So it's moving on. I like to try every aspect of the business. Really.
When did you start acting?
I started acting 30 years ago now.
How long? 30 years ago, okay. Have you ever had a real job?
Yes, I was a metal fabricator by trade.
Okay.
Acting is a real job, Milo. It is a real job.
Have you ever had a job that paid money?
Oh, okay, that's a good rephrasing the question.
Yes. No, I'm also an agent as well, so there's that element to it as well. So I've kept in the business, put it that way.
So you co-founded Reactors Agency,
I did, yes. That was 20 years ago now. It's sort of strange, the relationship between an actor and an agent. I mean, sometimes it can be sort of, it's a strange relationship, and an actor is always worried, there's something else out there that I don't know about, So, and it can be true, and then from the agent's point of view, it can be a situation where it's like owning a few racehorses, and you've got the racehorses that are winning, and you're going to obviously put them up first ahead of the other ones that haven't really proven themselves yet, or maybe haven't got so much body of work behind them. So there's that kind of element, and a casting director only wants a certain number of suggestions, or else it really, there's be too many. So you can't have, an agency saying, "Oh, I'll put all my actors up for this role," or it can't be done. They're only going to have 2 slots, maybe 3 slots to be seen.
It's a co-op agency.
Yes.
Now, what's a co-op agency for people at home?
Well, the co-op agency is basically run by the actors as well. So basically the actors are actually in the office as well. There's 2 actors at any one time in the office. And we have a sort of a certain procedures or whatever to how we actually, when an actual casting comes in, we'd have a way of actually dealing with that. I mean, who was the most right actor for that role? And that's what we'll put forward. And
do you find as an actor that gives you more control? Like you see that other side of the industry?
Well, that's what actually getting back to what the difficulty of an actor not knowing what's going on. That's the great thing about co-op is that the actors do know. They can see exactly what's coming in, and they can see, well, there's nothing in that for me, or there is something for me in that, So
do you have a scenario where, like, if multiple actors are seeing it come in and like, no, I want it, and you have to
You'll
be
get the odd time
no,
where,
not you, you're okay.
There's a bit of that, but that's part of the procedure, so we kind of have to sort of go look at the height, look at the shape of the actor looking for, or whatever. The more details a casting director gives us, the better, the same with accents or whatever, whoever's closer to the accent, if they're naturally from there, obviously they're the top of the list immediately,
Makes sense. Is it really, I'm just kind of curious how that decision making is. Is it really very looks based and then accents based and then experience based? Or
and it can change from different casting perspectives. Some casting, they'll just tell us we want a guy in his 30s or whatever, and that's all. Okay. And we go, okay, but can you give us a little bit more?
Yeah, here's somebody in their 30s and then like, that's not what we wanted at all.
So the more information we have, the better, because then we can really plumb it down. And then we can even say, look, actually we don't have anyone for that role, And then there's other co-ops as well. There's 2 other co-ops in Dublin as well. So we might suggest calling them, or we might even know an actor that actually who you want is such and such, So we help it that way as well.
What made you decide to get into the agency area, the agent area?
It's weird. I was telling Claire a story earlier about I was with 2 different agents, and a lot of agents back then only worked part-time as an agent, so they'd have an actual office job. So you'd sort of hear from them at night time, and then you would wonder, is that going to be enough time for the auditions? Could be the next day. So there was all that kind of thing going on, and I remember I sort of was thinking, I kind of think I need another agent, and somebody told me that this international agent was setting up in Dublin. Now, I'm going back about 20 years before I set up Reactors.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was to arrange to meet this new agent in the Westbury Hotel in Dublin. And this particular day was absolutely raining. It was absolutely, there's cats and dogs. It was just awful. And I had this sort of trench coat on to keep the rain off me, but I was absolutely sapping. I was dripping. I hadn't even got a hat on, so I was completely wet. So I was actually kind of looking for the bathroom first. But the way through the Westbury Hotel, there was all these people sitting around.
Mm-hmm.
I walked through them, and they were all looking at me. And I was waiting for somebody to put up their hand, because they had my photograph, but I didn't know what they looked like. So I was waiting for them to call me. So I went down this way and over this way, and everyone's looking at me, and nobody's doing this. And I'm wondering, what am I going to do? So I go all the way around, and nobody has said anything. No. So I said, either they don't like the look of me, or else they're late.
Mm-hmm.
So I go over, and I'm sitting at the bar over in the Westbury, and I see this little piece of paper on the table, and it says, "Come to the Westbury, 3 o'clock for a fashion show."
Okay.
And I just looked over to where I just walked, dripping wet, and I saw these perfect models walking up and down with beautiful clothes and all the rest, and I just walked just past.
So you inadvertently took part as
a
a model in a fashion show.
They were like, wow, I like it. It's so believable how he looks like he just came in from out of the rain.
Mm-hmm. And she was late, and that's what it was. And the bad thing is, I did meet this woman, and she was interested, because I had some film work and all at that stage. And but no, I never heard anything. So she was international, but not particularly Irish international. So that's when I really sort of went, this agent thing. So I got into it that way then, and a group of actors who are sort of felt the same way. We just banded together, and that's how.
And how did you find the balance between being an agent and being an actor? Do you find it switches over time depending on, say, if you get a role, you might have to devote your time to that?
Yes, I mean, office time in the actual office as an agent. I mean, if the acting is with a role and you're working on a film or television or theatre or whatever, that comes first. So the other actors have to weigh in and do the office work, and
And you've been a part of some very famous films, haven't you?
I have, yes. Particularly, I mean, I worked with great directors like Alan Parker twice, and Mike Newell, Jim Sheridan. Yeah, so I've been very lucky to work with.
And who was your favourite? Can you say?
Oh,
any
to be honest,
secrets?
I've got a great respect for directors. I really do. I love working with them all. I'll tell you one story about Mike Newell. He directed if you have one of the Harry Potter films, I'm not too sure which one. He's gonna you'd know if you search IMDb, you find all this. And that was Into the West. I worked with him on that.
Okay.
And there was one particular scene I was doing with Gabriel Byrne, and I had to be thrown off the ledge of Ballymun on the 13th floor for threatening to take the horse away from them. So that was my role.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So that's what. So we were doing that scene anyway, and Gabriel was a bit afraid of heights. Now I'm the one that's actually out there on a plank of wood. That's like a
Did they have you strapped in?
They had me strapped.
Okay.
I'm out really on a plank of wood, right, like that. And so Gabriel was a little bit afraid of heights or whatever. But anyway, he got a bit bored as the time went on. We were hanging around waiting because an awful lot to set up the shot.
Yeah.
And he decided that he would ask me to play a practical joke on Mike Newell.
Okay.
And I said, "Oh, no, it's okay for you, Gabriel. I mean, you're going to work with him loads of times. But
you're
for me,
I'm
only playing. I'm only playing a few days. I'm only playing a few days, and is he gonna ever like me again?" So he said, "I know, please trust me." And he said, "Okay." He said, "Ask him. Have you ever seen this film called The Mummy? Charlton Heston. It was made in 1980." And I said, "Why is it?" And he said, "No, it's awful. It's an awful film. It's terrible. It's a really bad film." And I said, "Well, I'm not going to go up to him and remind him of an awful film." I said, "Please, just ask him. Say that you really heard this is one of the best films you ever heard in your life, and that you would love if he had a video copy of it." Okay. So I said, "Oh God." And I said, "Okay, please." And so I went up to Mike, and I went up and I said, "Please, Mike, I heard about The Mummy, and I really want to see this film. I love horror films and all this, and I really want to see The Mummy." And he just looked at me, And he said, well, if you get a copy of it, fucking burn the fucking thing. That was it, stormed off. And then Gabe was laughing in the background. And then it was you. And so thankfully he used me again in their film as well. So.
That's great. All right, let's take a quick break,
Okay.
and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more. Okay, since you are an Irish actor, but you've worked in the UK...
I have, yeah, but particularly in theatre and that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you worked in the States at all?
No, I haven't, no.
So I'm curious because, that's kind of where, the dream place is, go to Hollywood or whatever. What made you decide to stay here? Was it family or...
I kind of just felt to be honest, there's opportunities as well. I mean, I just felt I'm better off here. I don't know. I was getting films here because the tax breaks were here at the time as well for films. So a lot of films were being made over here.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also known an awful lot of actors who went over to Hollywood and whatever, and some done okay, but a lot of people said it's very, very, very tough over there, and you can't really stay there for just a couple of months. You really have to stay there for years, and I really hadn't got that, I suppose, ambition to go off to live there. I like living in Ireland, you know, and I like UK obviously as well. It's very close by. So, but America to me is so. It just was that, it's just I
Too
didn't.
far, yeah.
I don't think I was too happy about walking in bars or restaurants to make a living, really, to try and.
Yeah.
It's very expensive, I'd
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
Even back then,
yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's
It
kind of
is,
a joke over there. Like 90% of all actors are waiting table, and
That's-
the other 10% are making 20 million.
Or
a movie.
salesmen. Or
Yeah,
salesmen. I
exactly.
know them. A lot of actors I know over there. That's what they're doing. They're salesmen.
Yeah.
And it's a very tough business, and I see them coming back then as well. I just think it's one of those things you have to give it a certain time. I think you have to have a sort of cut-off time of how long you're going to give it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're going to be away from family or anything like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
How do you feel the industry has changed here in Ireland, and especially now? It seems like, I've only lived here 3 years, but it seems like a lot of stuff is being filmed here now. Obviously, stuff was filmed here before, but like, how do you feel? How do you think that's changed?
It's come back, thankfully, because it went from one extreme to the other. It was fantastic, say in the late 80s and into the 90s, and then it sort of dipped a little bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's come back again now. I mean, it's brilliant when the Game of Thrones up in Northern Ireland, and so many different productions now going on, like Ripper Street and that. A lot of television productions.
And there's a new studio opening in Limerick as
That's
well,
right.
which is so
Yes,
exciting.
yes.
Troy Studios.
Yes.
So that's going to bring a lot of hopefully
Hopefully.
American productions and foreign productions in as well. You know.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I remember a time when Ardmore was ready to close down. I mean, and they had closed it down, then they reopened it, and then it looked like it was going to close down again. But thankfully, it's still there, and
What, since you've worked on major productions like Commitments,
Yes.
I'm trying to think of some of the other stuff that you worked on, but pretty big productions.
Yeah.
And you've also done a lot of like low budget kind of stuff. What's really the big difference between the two, in your opinion, besides money and crew? Like, because it seems now for us especially, we see a lot of really. And people that watch this show, they want to learn about making a quality film, and so you've kind of been on the the big productions and the smaller ones. What's something you'd say to somebody that's on a smaller film, or you've been on a set with one, and you're like, oh fuck, guys, come on, like do it like this, like
Well, you have to be a bit more. I mean, on a big budget film, everything is looked after for you. You're even kept away from the set a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
It's much more. It's everything is done for you. You have a runner that comes to you and tells you exactly, we're going to expect in 15 minutes we're going to bring onto the set, and then we're going to do a walkthrough, and then you do all the walkthrough, and then you move back to your dressing room or whatever again for another hour or two.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those situations where on a low budget film, you're sort of there most of the time, and I like being around the film set. I like being there. I like to watch what's happening and to sort of know what's really going on. Because you can pick up things sometimes that some people wouldn't realise, but an actor will pick up certain things that's said, if they move too far this way or whatever, and so they can get it as right as possible in the first take, really, because obviously you want to get it done there and then, you want to get it the first take, really. And I know one actor I worked with, he would go crazy if he had to do a second take, because he felt he'd really done something wrong,
Mm-hmm. Have you ever walked off a set?
No.
Have you ever been like this?
No, God,
Okay.
no. thankful. No, I never had need. No, I actually always enjoyed film. I was lucky to see my very first. I was actually working in Ireland's at the time, and I got a call for an RTE production that Tony Barry was directing, and Tony Barry, the great director, he did Strumpet City and that, and he asked me to come in for the lead role in this RTE drama, and I remember my parents saying, "You're not going, why? You mean you're going to have to give up 6 weeks of your life to do this, so that means your job is going to go, they're not going to hold on to you." And I said, well, you don't get these opportunities all the time, so I went and that was it. So
and you got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That'd be even worse if, like, okay, I didn't get it.
Oh no, but at least then I wouldn't have lost my job.
Yeah, that's right.
I wouldn't have told my boss. Well,
I'm curious, so this is something I'm curious, because I'm incredibly vain. And so you've seen, you see films that you've done when you were much younger, and you're a little older now and stuff like that. Is it kind of jarring to see yourself in the youth?
Well, I always think at the very first time you're in a film and you see yourself the first time, you just go, "Oh my God, I don't look like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I look like." You get used to it.
Yeah.
But it's funny now when I look back on films, I either think, "God, I wouldn't have done it that way," or God, wasn't I young back then? So it is a strange thing now looking back, because you do sort of go, "God, look, I really have aged, haven't I?" But first time when you see yourself in film, as everyone knows, you cannot believe. You think you sound terrible.
Yeah.
You think you look awful.
You zone in little things other people don't see.
Yeah.
So it's like even Johnny Depp doesn't watch his films apparently.
No,
so it's very common, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of actors don't.
But I think you have to. I mean, every actor should watch what they've done, because then they're not going to grow as actors.
Yeah.
They're not going to improve, because they're not
See
going to
what they did. Okay, how can I improve on that?
Yeah.
So, nice. What advice then would you give to budding actors that are looking to kind of break into the field, especially nowadays, because there's so many no-budget films being made, and a lot of people are asked to kind of work for free and that kind of stuff, but they want to actually get to the point of making a living.
Of course,
yeah.
Well, I mean, one thing I would say, I mean, I know a lot of film companies do now. They have contracts, and they kind of, so if the film did make money, they would get something. They would get paid eventually, which is great to have that sort of in place. But for actors, I think the worst thing to do with an actor is probably be too pushy, and I've seen that, especially at the very beginning of the career, where they will think that they expect to be seen. Now, you do want to be seen, obviously, but there's a certain knack of going along with it, and you have to trust that the cast director or the director knows what they're doing and what they're looking for. Because if they see and hopefully your photograph looks like what you are, that's the other big thing as well.
Which is very important, isn't it? Headshots. Yeah.
There's nothing worse when you walk in the door and your headshot it looks like, Clark Gable or some Hollywood star or whatever, and then you walk in, you look nothing like that. You can see it in the face of the cast director immediately.
Yeah. I get that because I do photography. People I'll do a headshot and then and can you do this and this and this? And I'm you're not if you want to actually get cast in something,
So and obviously work on as many films as possible, especially starting out. Be very punctual. That's a big thing as well. I know so many people who sort of dirty their bibs over the years by going out the night before or whatever and just being nearly hung over on the set the next day.
That's why budget films are a great training ground as an actor, because people will give you a chance maybe that obviously in bigger films if I wouldn't, but in low budget ones I think it's a brilliant training ground.
It is, it's a great training ground. You can try things out, and it's great for everybody involved, because I know some films I've worked on, it's great where you can improvise, you can try things out, and you can imagine the magic moments can come out of that, You at least expect them, So.
Do you find that with low budget films there's more of a luxury of time? Is it?
Well,
it depends really.
It depends. There probably is a little bit more luxury in time that way, because on a big budget film, everything is so planned. They move on. The producer knows if this is run over, we're going to have to cut scenes, or we're going to have to, and that's where actually an actor can get cut. Then I remember being on a film where I actually did get cut out because over the time ran out, but I still got paid, so it was okay.
All right. Well, I think we're almost out of time. So, last question: as an agent, because I'm sure this is something that actors want to know. Like, when somebody's like headshot or showreel comes across your desk, like, what do you look for in somebody?
We're looking for a good showreel as well. Mm-hmm. Something that shows you, really gets the essence. I've seen a few showreels where people are a bit flat, you know, and we can't see past them. It's like they're, you know, we want a bit of depth, you know. Obviously, theatre as well. We go and see people in plays, and that can give us a great indication of how they are as well. Have a good photograph, as I say, that looks like you, and not too long a showreel. 1 to 2 minutes really is all you need. You know.
Yeah, I argue with people on that too.
Yeah.
Like, don't need to show everything you've done.
You know.
Totally. Do people ever put theatrical productions in their showreel? Like, would you ever see a clip?
Not really. It never really works unless it's the MT Live, I suppose, where they actually have multiple cameras all over the place, which is great. But no, it doesn't work.
It doesn't translate at all. Yeah.
No.
I agree.
No.
Great. All right, well, I think we're about out of time, but thanks for coming on. I'm
sure
we could literally sit here and talk forever.
All evening,
like, we didn't even get through like half the questions I have, but it's fascinating.
I'll shut up the next
No, it's fascinating stuff. That's why, like, it's really interesting talking to you and stuff. So
thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
All right, thanks. And with that, we say goodbye. I still need to come up with a good outro for the show. I literally don't have one. And on that bombshell. All right. Cut.
You definitely need a better advertising.
Cut.